welcome what is more than likely the last time I will be streaming Tears of the King. Definitely not playing. And I say likely because who knows, maybe I'll stream something on Master Mode. Eventually comes out. Doubt it, but always a possibility. Or mods. But yes, we've done just about all of the story. Here we are. There I am. We've got that is at the end of the game. I don't know when that completes because Tyrell Castle should always be in the center. And we're about to tell Kura that we have found the fifth sage. There she is. Anywho, let us go do that. I will definitely be giving my thoughts on this game after. A lot of positive. And I'll play this more than I've played Breath of the Wild. Partly because it's bigger, but you know. But also, there are negatives. And there's my whole feelings on the story, which is a large portion of that negative. But definitely far from the only thing. But, well, we'll get into that. Hello, Kura. Anything out about the fifth sage? I sure did.
What?
You found the sage's spirit. Minoru, this is incredible. That means we have the 5 sages. Fantastic work, Link. I can't believe this is actually one of the sages who faced off against the Demon King alongside Princess Zelda. And now we have news about the princess. There's some relief in that, at least. So, in the ancient past, Princess Zelda worked to restore the decayed Master Sword to return it to your hand. Trusting you would defeat the Demon King in the present day. She did so much all on her own.
What?
The Master Sword was restored, you say? When were you planning on telling me? And it was found on the head of a white dragon of all places? That's hard to believe. However, this is Princess Zelda's wish. Once she believed in so strongly that she gave her life to see it through, for us. Thank you for finding the sword, Link. I have to say, you really don't look quite yourself unless you have the Master Sword at your side.
Check it.
Now then, it seems you have all you need. You're prepared to face our enemy. Like that? I guess, because both of those just completed. We need to determine where the Demon King is lurking. I also need to turn off my phone volume, in case... I forgot to do that. Seems unlikely he'd still be in Hyrule Castle. Oh, he's not, believe me. I know from an alternate timeline. I can't think of any place he'd be here on the surface. That must mean... That's it, the depths. Well, wouldn't you say there's a high probability he's in the depths? Do what you think best, of course, but my suggestion is to ask Joshua for any info she might have. Okay?
Yeah.
I'll do that, but I also would very much like to find Impa, because didn't she say, like, come see me in Kakariko? Hi, Swordsman. You figure anything about the depths with the U-Clan? Oh, so I have to do that before she'll talk to me, I think. Because if you work with Joshua, who's been investigating the depths, you might gain a lead. Interesting. Well, I wanted to do the Master Koga stuff anyway. So I suppose we'll do that. But let me check Kakariko. This is Kakariko, right? Because I don't know if Impa is back there yet. Now, as you may or may not recall, a while back, we discovered alongside her what actually happened to Zelda, which Link proceeded to tell literally no one about and pretend he knew nothing about for the majority of the story. But regardless, we found out, we told her, she said, oh, I'll try to see if there's a way to restore her. Meet me in Kakariko. But she wasn't there. I'm assuming because I didn't progress in the story. I'm gonna check again if she's here. Don't know where she would be. Or if she even, in fact, is here, but we're gonna take a look. That's a stone. That's the guy, so she's clearly here. Ooh, is that really you? Link! Oh, I spent some time. You've been quite shocked. Our chief is... Former chief Lady Emperor retired. Oh, wait, no, this is not the same guy. Lady Power, yeah, Lady Power, blah, blah, blah. I get it. You're cool, but where's Impa? There she is. President Link, I'm always ready to find you in good health. When thinking of those glimpses you had of the Light Dragons, or rather Princess Zelda's memories, it seems as though there must be an omen of some kind. Keep looking for a way to restore the princess. So Link, perhaps you recognize what is shown on that screen. Yeah, that was literally from the last game. Is this like the only reference to Breath of the Wild? Calamity was the Demon King of ancient times, brought back to existence in the form of hatred manifest. Yeah, I know, this is what literally happened in the last game. Are you going to tell me what happened to all that technology, perhaps? Finally? Oh, man, Lord, she wants to send me to school. Listen, bitch. We're not doing that. I gotta go fight Master Koga. Who, where is, like, Hylia? No, it wasn't like Hylia. So then it was here. I mean, it looks right. I think. I wanted to fight Master Koga after acquiring a vehicle to fight him on his own terms. To fight him pilot of honor. But I don't know if I have an appropriate vehicle. I could make one, but I wouldn't want it to be made out of wood. So I'd have to edit an existing model of vehicle. Ooh, that's not Master Koga. That most certainly is not Master Koga. Well, I'm not fighting that right now. There it is. I mean, I could, but I don't want to. Gives, like, battery juice, which I guess is nice, but at this stage of the game, for the purposes of stream, I'm definitely not going to farm to max. And again, I probably won't work on super 100%ing this till whatever master mode or etc. comes out. My only question is, what kind of vehicle is he going to use in this fight? Like, is it going to be on the water? Because I don't really know what to build to fight him. Considering that's there, I'm gonna guess so. You know, I'm just gonna build my vehicle after dealing with him. Or after, like, engaging him. Oh, what am I doing wrong? Maybe my angle's off. Oh, that's still not working. Well, how long have you been there? Why, you little... Tried to catch me off guard, did you? You... cowardly sneak. Like I said before, my plan has changed, but we already mined up everything there is to mine around here. What you saw was just, you know... I was killing time. So yeah, you get it. Anyway, I can't believe you followed me to another mine, persistent little pest. In honor of our long-awaited reunion, I graciously allowed you to fight me one-on-one before. But right now, you're the last thing on my mind, because the end is nigh. Oh yeah, it's gonna be on the boat. On a boat. I've got things to do, so let's make this real quick. Yiga Clan attack. Oh, yes. I love this. Hold on, guys. Can you, like, fight him while I build a boat real fast? It won't take me long, because I've got auto build. But what can I use as a base for the boat? Definitely not that. Well, I don't know how deep the water is. That might work. That also might work. I don't know if that would float. I don't even know what... Oh, the beam cycle. Um, I have a lot of stupid. Oh yeah, that was from the Sage quest line. It was just armament footmobiles. Hey, just build it. Oh, it's backwards. Oh dear, it's backwards. Hold on. Hold on, Master Koga. That's not gonna float. It floats more than I thought it would. Which, I guess. Hold on, Master Koga. Wait, can I even get back on it at this? Is it not too deep underwater? No? Question mark? Where is he even? Where did he go? Okay, don't worry. I'm going to solve this. But first we need robot head. If I could stabilize or no. Construct head. Oh man, I hope this doesn't make the boat too heavy. Gonna make the boat too heavy, isn't it? This is not a boat. Okay. This is not gonna work. Oh, that was a waste. Oh yeah, hold on. I really thought that was gonna work. I can't tell how deep the water is. Like, would the big wheelie dealy work? I mean, it's big. I don't know if it's that big. Not that big. Okay. We're just gonna borrow one of his boats. Like, wood floats. And it floats well enough. Okay, I won't have it as epic of a vehicle. You know, still kind of falling there. That's fine, I'm sure. Oh, that's not good. Why are you falling over, boat? Oh, I know how to fix this, maybe. Hold on. I'm glad Master Koga is patiently waiting for me, because he knows that I'm going to fight him like a real man. Oh yeah, okay, this'll work. Oh dear, Link, get out of the water. Stop getting shot with arrows. Fine, Link. Just eat food. Yum. Delicious grass. Okay, I need to at least let it have a second. I don't think that the fan's gonna make a move, though. Almost. Okay. Maybe if I face it this way, it'll lean. No, that's... Okay. We're going to do a pro gamer move to get this boat to work. I don't know why I did that, but... Wait, hold on. Stop the time power. There we go. Oh, that was not great. Okay, hold on, Master Koga. I'm coming. Don't worry. Oh, damn it. God damn it. That didn't work exactly how I wanted it to. Everything about this fight. I mean, I love fighting Master Koga, but my own performance in this fight is very poor right now. Oh no, don't shoot. Oh, okay. Here we go. Now this is where it's at. Oh, the cannon's at an angle. Maybe that's why I kept tilting. This is clearly way slower than... Oh, my battery. Hold on, Master Koga. My batteries are drained. Wait, I can just take his boat? Wait, hold on. Hold the phone. Fuck this vehicle. This thing actually, like, works. Okay, this is way better. Okay. Well, look at you, Mr. Roxy, subscribing again. I hope you're ready for me to have the most epic fight that I've been wanting since I saw the first fight with Master Koga. Don't worry, we just need to put some robot heads down and not keep accidentally using the wrong button. This is the true fight of the game, the true boss fight. Hold on. Excuse me, I'm trying to place this. Maybe one more. Out of the way, Tulin. Alright, here we go. This thing probably uses a lot of batteries. Oh, damn it. I was a bit close. And now I'm under the boat for some reason. Hold on. This thing's a bit harder to steer, admittedly. I'm just gonna eat some delicious grass while we're here. Okay. Let's not accidentally crash into him. Well, this kind of works. Said the boat crashed again. Well, it didn't really crash, it just kind of is not here. Here we go. Excuse me, sir, I've got to recharge my batteries. Now, as a true gentleman, I will not attack him while my batteries are not full. Okay. We can fight again. Fire! Oh dear. This is gonna be a head-on collision. Which results in that. You know, it's like a pirate ship. You can board the enemy. Oh, he left that one behind. And mine disappeared for some reason. You know, we only need one weapon, so it won't use so much batteries. But we're going to finish him on a boat. Huh, interesting. And I'm running out of grass. Hold on, sir. Can you not do that? I really would like to set up my boat. Oh, yeah, good job, Tolan. Let's try... What is the other thing that I wanted to use? I don't have a lot of these, but maybe it's good. Oh dear lord, this thing can't stop. It's not like a wheeled vehicle where you can actually control it. This is like the worst fight to fight him in a vehicle, honestly. Because boats are so annoying. Oh my lord, boats are the worst. Honestly though, like the fight that I'm fighting him in a vehicle, like a shitty cobbled together vehicle, and that Link is wearing this could easily just be Mad Max. Great job, you know what. Oh no, don't shoot at me. I need a boat. Oh, well, it didn't stop me, I guess. It didn't damage me. I need to, boats are really, really awful. I'm sure someone's built a much better boat than what I have available. I don't have that. Nor do I even know where to start. But we're just gonna try to board him again. Oh, the steering stick got wet, so my hand slipped. Yeah, I suppose that's right. No matter, once again, you're too late. I've already dug up all the crystallite charges this place had to offer. And there's more. I just got word from my underlings that they've located the man himself. They found the Demon King. Just one more step. One teeny little step until the Eagle clan's long-standing desire comes to fruition. We have more than enough crystallized charges now. There's only one more abandoned mine to ransack. Hear me now, Link. It's time to start the final excavation. The northwestern abandoned mine awaits. That's where I'll use those charges to activate our ultimate weapon offered to the Demon King and bring the world to its end. Our next encounter will be our last. You'll get yours, just you wait. I wonder if Joshua has any advice on where the northwestern is. What state is going on? The northwestern abandoned mine that the man is likely headed for is likely the abandoned Hebra mine. But there are a few chasms in Hebra. I wish to reach it. The path stretching from Hyrule Ridge that was previously used is no longer a viable route. There are a few chasms. Oh, okay. I definitely have some map there, I'm sure. Oh, technically, I got a work notification, but it's definitely something that I can call in 30 minutes and they'll say, oh wait, no, it's not really a problem. So, I'll do that. So I found to bring a chasm somewhere that connects directly to the abandoned mine. There's one other thing before you resume your journey. My associate, yeah, I need a scheme stone, thank you. Well, that will get me another battery charge. But I'm not going back for just one. I want the schema stone, though. Quite curious what it could be. Zone's a busy refinery where a great deal of zonite is processed. My task here is to manage designs for mining equipment. Yep. But what is it? What is the schema stone? It is... Oh. A boat. I mean, it's not a great looking boat, but it presumably is a boat that could have done damage. Don't know how much, but... Well, only I had that before I did the boat fight. I actually don't have many or any chasms here. If there's one on the map... Ooh, maybe it's in a cave. I will ask Joshua. Oh, is that the chasm he said? Or... Well, that's not a chasm in the same sense, but I thought he said there was a path that wouldn't reach, which might be because of there. But then I don't know. There's definitely a chasm somewhere around here. Question is where? I will simply ask Jasha if she has any advice in this matter, for we must fight Master Koga. Technically, while his thing is a side story, finding out where Ganondorf is a main quest. So I should do this. And this time, I will hopefully be able to make a vehicle on land with which to fight him. Vehicle pilot to vehicle pilot. New info about the depths. Stone statues, evidence of a civilization between Zora's domain. Okay. A new chasm on the cliff face at Hirito village in Hira. That is a good idea. Alright, so there's a chasm on the cliff face around Rito village. Somewhere. I don't really see it on the map, but we'll find it. And that will take us to our best friend, Master Koga. And then we will fight him. And then we will probably beat the game. Well, not probably. We're definitely going to beat the game tonight. But, you know. Alright. Excuse me, Korra. Discovered a new chasm on the cliff face. I definitely need to go upper. More up. More upper. Okay. Didn't know they had multiple of those around now. I don't see any chasm. To be fair, I'm not all the way up. Where is my chasm? Oh, Link, are you cold? Well, you should try not being cold. That works a lot better than being cold. So I hear. Where's the chasm? Where my chasm at? I didn't try looking from Hebra. But again, I don't see one on the map, but it's probably under something. And I'm hoping I don't have to look literally inside a random ass cave. Wouldn't be ideal. I'm sure we'll find it. With absolutely no issues, I'm sure. Gotta believe. Something of that sort. Now it's really cold. We're on bird mask. He just has this gargantuan party with him now. Imagine being a lone bokoblin and you just see all of this running at you. I see fire. Fire could lead somewhere. But I don't know if it actually does. Oh yeah, it leads to a cave I was already in. Never mind. False alarm. Don't worry, we'll find it. Eventually, I need stamina. Climb this. Need to get to the top to reliably find something. To hopefully get us where we need to go. These have a lot of cliffs and stuff. Maybe? It did say cliff chasms in Hebrew, right? Like, unless this is really the closest one. I was down there. It might just be easier to try to reach from there. Which I'm about ready to do, honestly. I know not all of them are going to be in the map, because I know some of them at least are in caves. Or wells, or whatever. So, not as if I'm guaranteed to find one. You know, I did swear they said it was in Rito Village. That is a good point. But would it actually be on the Rito Village island mass? I will investigate that. Well, let me see. So we'll start. Oh wait, who are you?
Oh.
Continue to command the Hyrule Field Chasm. Joshua asked me to search the area around Beetle Village for Chasm. Directly below us.
Ah.
Well, that would more certainly be why it doesn't appear on a map. Oh dear. Oh dear. No Boogle Frog in here? Okay, well, there we go. Wait, are these the abandoned mines? It's disappointing because it's completely surrounded, but... Yes. Well, it's a good thing I didn't... It's a damn good thing I didn't, like, go here, because that would have annoyed me. So I'm sure I eventually... I probably would have figured it out after 30 minutes of gathering underground light thingies, and then seeing this area was dark. Well, it's a big arena. Look, he's meditating. Hold on. How close can I get to take a picture? That should be fine. Now that is a perfect picture of Master Koga. In fact, I want to save that one. That captures him in his true smart self. Refresh my work thing real fast. Yeah. We're still good. Hello, Master Koga. How are you? I've been waiting for you. It is done. We have enough crystal edge charges at last. And now, our gift to the Demon King. A weapon beyond compare. Will be reborn. Today will go down in infamy as the day of our ultimate weapon's resurrection, and the day the world faced its end. Behold this feat of engineering. This unstoppable Zonai construct. Count your blessings, Link. Your death will prove the Yiga clan's might. Then I'll go take my rightful place. And the darkness below the castle where the Demon King now dwells. Yes, where the end of all things will begin, in the deepest reaches of the depths, far beneath Hyrule Castle. I mean... Now, come and get me. This time, I'll bury you. Okay, well, there's only one way I can do this. Clearly. Wait. Had the wrong button. Amazing. Oh, yeah, I can't hit him. Oh my lord. I'm so glad that there's no friendly fire for that. No, get on the robot. Oh, the wrong robot. That was my bad. I don't have jump on robot because I don't have a rocket. Wasn't expecting that, but honestly, could there be any better fight with Master Cobra? Literally a giant mech fight. At least now I get to see him in his giant mech as well. Hold on. I want the whole thing in frame. Yeah, I think that's about centered. Yeah, we'll use that as the primary entry for him. Can I, like, take your cannon and have you not be using it? Okay, that's fine. Just run around. Can I... Oh, wait, I don't... That's not what I wanted to drop. God damn it. You know, I was thinking of dropping a rocket, but it's only going to get one use. You know, I'm going to drop two things and just see. That's the wrong button. If only I could remember what button it actually was. Yeah, that sure did a lot of good, huh? It turns on for 1 second. Okay, it is X, okay. Very pointless, but also kind of cool. Yeah, I guess I just will have to get off to not die. Come here. Mineral water, come on. He's got a box on his head. I didn't even... Well, I mean, I suppose that makes sense, but I didn't even consider shooting him while he was on the robot. Because that would be very disrespectful. Like, he put all this effort into a giant mech fight. I'm going to fight him primarily on the giant mech, except when I accidentally touch Riju. Oh, my beautiful weapon. All my work destroyed. You little twerp. I was this close to destroying the world of the Demon King. Just everything he says and his emotions as he says them. He is the perfect character. You think I'm just going to let this stand, do you? Time to bust out my serious moves, a brand new technique I came up with in the deepest darkness of the darkest depths. It will destroy you. Oh my god. Tremble in fear before my unstoppable Koga rocket. This is the end. Now fly, Koga rocket. Oh my lord. How dare you make all my revenge? Amazing. But this is perfect, because this clearly means that we will see him again. And that is all I could ever ask for. I will come to you. Please wait a moment. Just thank you for not making me walk over you. It is unlikely he will appear in another abandoned mine. His manner of departure attests to that. Mines similar to this one can be found under thriving surface settlements and other places of distinction. Okay. So one other thing before you resume your journey. A schema stone, I'm sure. Okay. And probably another one, I assume. I never imagined being so disappointed in a diamond, but here we are. Give me the schema stone. Yes. What do we have for our maybe final schema stone? The rocket platform? It's... I guess. Don't really need to test a fucking platform with a rocket on it. That... Well... Oh, it's not built. Well, I'm not even gonna build it, because it's literally just a platform with a rocket and a battery. I really don't know what to say about that. Like... Yay! What a reward! Hold on, I need to read the Ego Journal. And I need to eat this bomb. Every Yiga should keep our glorious purpose kindled in their heart by singing our anthem at least 3 times a day. Yiga Clan Anthem of the Depths. We clumps of earth. Oh, it's called We clumps of earth. Glory to Koga and the mighty Yiga Clan. Our master is the strongest. He's got a secret plan. This fall from sand to darkness did bring him to the depths. But did he waver? Never. And he into action leapt. The Yiga Clan then followed. Hearts fiery and true. Will soon raise up our weapon, revived by stones of blue. In the dark we dwell now. We covert clumps of earth. Only will rise to take high rule for everything it's worth. Glory to Koga and the mighty Yiga Clan. The earth itself will tremble. Our ascension is at hand. Glory to Master Koga. No. Glory to Master Koga. Truly. He is the best. And that's that. But now we know where Ganondorf is, so we can tell someone about it, who will then tell us to do something about it. And then we can do something about it. Do something. We will. Again. Because we've already done something about it. Previous timeline. But it's this time for it. Is there a goddess statue in this town? I think there is. I'm pretty sure there is. Yes, there is another mining site. And we defeated Koga. And, Ganon is under the castle. You work with Joshua. I literally have worked with Joshua. Is there any other way to advance this quest? Or is she just gonna say she's gonna work on it and then never find anything? Because that's a bit weird. No, I just gotta go down there, apparently. Which is a-okay by me. Because that's where we're going anyway. Alrighty. I want the goddess statue. I might as well spend what I got. Like, just crashing face first in the ground. What are you doing rolling around here? Losing track of time. Do you have anything interesting to say? A weapon to lay low more monsters. A weapon enhancement? Like, what do you mean? Oh my lord. A monster eyeball? Wow. Thank you for that wonderful advice that I could not possibly know by this point in the game. Wait, where is... There it is. First, to make me have another heart. How many hearts do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20? What is the max hearts? Because usually by now there would be a second row. Is it 40? That's a lot of hearts for it to be on a single row. I wasn't done. I need to spend the sage as well. Not that I really need it, but I, like Minoru. So, we're gonna bond with her. Now, if only we could construct a biological body for her. Okay, so we're going to go to Mr. Dorf. By body part, by set. Why can't I sort it by, like, armor? Something actually useful. I guess that is my best. Well, technically that is, but you know, we'll wear the blue just because. And a climbing cap to just round it all out. Yeah, what a wonderful outfit we've got assembled for this. I'm just gonna save. was hoping. I wanted to jump down there from the highest point in the game, but that would be way too much effort. Instead, we will simply go down there. And, you know, as far as story is concerned, this is the most complete the game could be. Well, relative to the ending occurring, but I mean, let's be honest. Nothing's going to change. The ending... I'm going to save my thoughts for actually talking about at the end of this. But I've got a lot to say, and I probably won't say it as eloquently as I would like. And it's probably going to come across as overly harsh, but I mean, keep in mind, I am a unrepentant Nintendo fanboy who would buy pretty much anything Mario, Zelda, Donkey Kong, Kirby, etc. So even I still have to complain about a lot when it's not great. Hi guys. No, we don't need to fight. No, we don't need to do that either, I assure you. We're fine, we don't need to do any of that. Hey, remember me? From the alternate universe in which we fought? Oh dear. I just want to get to the end. I'll cook a dang meal or 3. It'll be fine. We're fine. We're fine. Oh my lord. Bye, gentlemen. Bye, gentlemen. The power of a sage cannot reach you. Link, can you stand here? Link, just stand on the fucking log. Hello, sir. Bye, sir. Owie. We're fine. This is much less fine, but it will still be fine. Link, stop trying to climb. Is this like a spot where I can... There's something I wanted to mention. In this room. Because it will... I just want to point it out. I'm not going to overly talk about it right now, but it will be something I mention, and I just want to highlight it before I mention it. Okay, and then we drop another. Okay, so we have the murals, which blah blah blah. Zelda, we saw all of them. I think these three were covered. Yeah, it would make sense that that one's covered because you see him with 6 sages. Obviously. Oh, jeez, that quality when it zooms in. Rito, Gerudo, Zonai, Goron, Zora, and Zerolda. And then obviously, Master Sword, Dragon. Now, yeah, like I said, I'll talk about it later because I'll mention it, but I just wanted to relook at that, re-comment on the contents of that. Alright, so I'll make like one of these. What happens if I just cook 5 of them? That works. Then we'll make something, I don't know. Well, for cool, we won't even need to use any of that. Master Sword's not back yet, but who cares? We don't need it. Alright. Here we go. Whoa, Link, don't break your neck on the way down. Yeah. Oh, that wasn't the final fall. That was just like where he actually was when he was imprisoned. Or here it was. It was one of those locations. Yahoo! So it begins. The end. Again.
Link, we shall protect Hyrule together.
It was kind of like the same cutscenes, just stitched together.
I owe you for your help. You can count on me.
I will atone for my past failure. It is time to stop the Demon King.
Alright. We're just gonna do this. Hold on, on, you guys do the work. I want the arrows. You bastard. Excuse me, sir. Give me those delicious arrows. Not that I really need any, because it's not going to save my arrow count when I beat it anyway. Or my weapon durability, for that matter. That guy only did 1 damage to me. Clearly the armor works. I'm being a bit more reckless, but we'll be fine. Oh, the Master Sword's back. Well, I will save that. Even though it's not as good, I will save it for the actual fight. You bastard. Get out of here. Huh? Nice hit, Minoru. Excuse me, sir. You know, I probably should wear the gloom-resistant armor, but it probably even is better. Or it's at least nearly better. Is it actually better? I think it is actually better. If I could remember damn where it was. It's at least as good. Now here's the question, will Minoru weaken them because of her explosion being elemental damage? Shoot, Minoru, use your boom. Use the power of explosion. I want to see. It's not like it's a waste of arrows. Again, I'm not going to use them all. Would you mind shooting a bomb or something? Hold on. I thought I got it. It's just the same shit that I don't have to worry about. No. In fact, just so I stop getting buzzed on my pants, let me take just 1 second to mark this for a tomorrow problem instead of a tonight problem. Because again, it's likely not even actually a problem. And with that, it no longer exists. Minoru, can you shoot with your cannon? Whatever. goblins. The staple of Ganondorf and Ganondorf. Ganondorf and Ganon's army. Don't even know what I was trying to say there. You bastard. That armor did not seem to do anything. Did not prevent gloom. Excuse me, I'm coming through. Link literally spinning to win. I spun almost the entire fight. Or at least that batch. But now, no boss after boss after boss after boss, unfortunately.
That gloom, it means but one thing. The Demon King is there, huh?
More obstacles in our path, but our foe is mistaken if he thinks this will stop us.
We are fated to fight these beasts. Don't worry about us. Link, we'll take care of this, Goro. You ready to see the power of a sage?
We'll be fine. We already beat them once. This'll be a breeze for sure.
It is time, Link. The rest is up to you.
That is correct, because I did not fight the stupid Octorok sludge dude when I beat the game the first time. However, well, that was a cooler cutscene just because of the nature of it. I knew that I was right. I'm gonna get the hat that you made me. Octopus? Oh, come now. That hat, it's so hot in this house. Let me see. Yes, I see now that the AC is on. I don't know why that's not even green. Oh well. I might have to wear this over my headphones. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I knew I was right. And I'm so disappointed that I was. But basically, what I was right about is, remember I said, oh, we're fighting Phantom Ganon in the castle with Zelda. I bet this means we won't fight him before Ganondorf. So, while yes, it was epic, or it was cool to do that final bout of enemies with everyone, I don't think anyone could argue against it being more satisfying to do what I did that first time I was down here. Because that was really cool. And yes, you can interrupt me. Yeah, I don't know why it does. It's not green, so I'm not sure. Well, it's probably because the shade of blue it is close to green on the spectrum. I mean, we can change the hat. The green screen we can't really change. Okay, well. Give me. I will wear an easy hat, or you pick a hat. But otherwise, I'm wearing an easy one. That should be fine. We'll see. This I'll definitely have to go over as well. So, it fits well enough. So yeah, suffice to say, this was like 8 trillion times easier than fighting all the bosses. -1. And, way less satisfying, even if the spectacle of the monster mash was better. Although debatably seeing Sidon fight all the monsters with me might have been better. Depends on how you view it. Yeah, eat this garbage now, I suppose. Everyone knows the Master Sword is not good unless you fuse it with a random object, so I think that's one use. That's definitely one use. We'll see if he comments on the Master Sword being there, I would assume. But
How disappointing. This world should be shrouded in darkness, not bathed in insufferable light. All these weak, peace-loving cowards running rampant. It would have been more satisfying to overcome a worthy foe.
here we are again.
Regardless, I will reshape this world as it was meant to be. I will crush any opposition. I will rule. That is what a king must do. Do not look away. You witness a king's revival. And the birth of his new world.
You're not gonna comment on the sword that I have? You don't care? That's fine. I mean, it breaks quite often when I'm mining. Oh, maybe. Nope, he's still gonna comment on it. Owie. Wow, armor makes such a huge difference. I took 1 damage. I also took 1 damage from that. But I'm trying really poorly to do that. Oh, I'm on the gloom. I would like to not be on the gloom. Thank you, sir. Owie. Excuse me, sir. That's rude.
Take this. Is that all?
keep backflipping when I definitely mean not to backflip.
What a feeling.
Suffice to say, you know, just a bit easier.
Gotten the thrill of battle. That feeling as blood surges in my veins. And I am not even nearing the limits of my power.
I didn't even do all the things. I did half the things, and it's basically trivially easy. But I can focus more on the music, so it's good to hear his classic melody now that I can.
Enjoy these final moments. You'll be taking far more than you're on this time.
Now that I can properly comment on it. Hold on, cat. Oh, sorry, I had to spray a cat. I didn't take his picture. I don't think I took Ganondorf's picture either, but that's fine.
Sorry for keeping you waiting.
Can I take a picture of these ones? No. Owie.
Down, Demon King.
Colin, you need to be quiet.
It's time to finish him off.
Oh, I wonder how much damage these will do when I have a 3-shot bow. A decent bit. Oops, I backflipped a bit too early. Probably worth it. My first instinct is always backflip, but he doesn't always do it in above swing, which you can't backflip away from. Oh, owie. Oh, don't badly damage my shield. There's me barely, like, doing an exceptionally poor job of dodging things. I didn't even have to use food. So, if you do even half the things, these games aren't really difficult.
I will yet rule this land. You will not stop me. And the immortal will not stand in my way. My mind, everything. Sacrifice it all to destroy you. And cast this world into eternal night.
It's still a lot cooler before you know what that's gonna do. Like, before you know the significance of eating the stone. But to be fair, well, again, I'll talk about it after I beat the game again, but the story, the less you know about it, the better, I feel. All right. Well, here we go again. Oh yeah. Wow, that is so much less impactful. They really should not let you have gotten the Master Sword before this point. That was just like... Also, I know this outfit is going to look ridiculous in the cutscene, but that's... It's their fault for making this clearly the best outfit for dealing with shit in the sky. Can you fly, like, where I need to go? I was trying to do a sword dive, but I guess Link just doesn't take fall damage if he lands there. So that worked out. You know, I wonder what would happen if I just, like... Hold on. Can I just land on the ground? No, no, no. We don't need whatever you're trying to sell us. I want to go to Lookout Landing. You know, spectacle being, spectacle aside, I just want to comment on how, like, literally nothing in this fight threatens you if you don't approach from the front. Oh, geez, some red orbs. Oh, no. Good thing Hudson's on my paraglider. That's the real power. It's sure gonna be a lot easier to dodge these with the wingsuit on. I won't even need to open the paraglider to do it. Thank you for just sitting still while I get on your head. I really appreciate it. Okay, but why does Dragendorf's secret stone show? Or would all dragons have their secret stone show if they were weakened? I mean, we don't know, but to be fair, I also didn't, like, look for it before the final part. Oh, did he just destroy the Lost Woods? Because that's where the explosion happened. I'm sure it's fine. Oh, I guess the implication in this scene that I didn't originally think about, but doesn't change my point about how I feel about it, is that this is how Zelda is turned back. Well. I need to clear that mark on my screen. Oh, I am sorry about that. I dropped my controller. That probably picked up really loudly on the mic. I apologize. Yeah, I guess that's nice and all, but Hmm. Okay, but what if I don't care? Can I, like... Where's Terrytown? Can I reach Terrytown? Because I'm pretty high in the sky. Oh. I can't even reach that skyland, can I? Am I even going anywhere? Oh, I can definitely reach Lookout Landing. No, there's definitely like an invisible wall. I can't actually move any further than this. At least, you know, left and right. I'm very much moving down. That's okay. We're gonna enjoy this fall. I don't know where she went, and honestly, I don't care. Am I even falling anymore? Link is literally not moving at all. Can I move down? Oh my god. Okay, I get that they really don't want this to turn out any other way than it does, but come on. Amazing. This is 10 out of 10 amazing. Nyom. It just looks so ridiculous. I honestly think it might have been better for them to just reset. Like when I accidentally let go of the grab the first time. We're still not falling according to the background. Again, I'm predicting there will be nothing different about the ending for having done all the story content. Which means that by doing everything, we were rewarded with a less good final boss and lead up to the final boss. And nothing else. Let's wait before we call that judgment until the ending finishes again.
Link, how are you? I was... We reached you, after all. He's gone. The Demon King. I'm not in a dream, right? You did it. Oh, Link, you really did it. But how am I...
Why is Link shirtless again? I wanted my flight suit.
I understand.
How'd he get his arm back?
I had been sleeping all this time. When
Why?
I felt something, like a warm, loving embrace. I woke up.
I mean, like, why did he get his arm back? Now he can't use Ultra Hand. That sounds like an amazing downgrade to me.
Thank you. Link, I met such wonderful people. I saw Hyrule as it was. I have so much to tell you. So much happened. Oh, Link, I'm home.
Nope. Nothing else. Okay. Like I said, I definitely have a lot to say on this. So, no, again, I've said before, but I'll say, I have every reason to be biased for this game as a Nintendo fanboy. I will buy pretty much anything with the Nintendo label on it, for the most part. What are we at? Minus like 15. I'm just gonna turn this down a bit while I do this. And probably do this so I can not have music blasting in my ear while I have every reason to be a Nintendo fanboy. I've bought and played every single Mario game, every single Zelda game, every single Kirby game, every single Donkey Kong game, besides the stupid bongo ones, which I'll eventually do. Technically, I never bought or finished Spirit Tracks, but I was in a weird spot with not liking the DS that much. Some other minor. The point is, I have every reason to be biased for this game, and I have enjoyed it, and I will enjoy it. I will 100% it someday when Master Mode comes out. I'll probably put hundreds of more hours into, not this playthrough, but a Master Mode and mods playthrough. I'll still probably do a lot of this playthrough. With that said, before I get into the why, I'll just give you the highlight. If I had to say from what I feel is an objective standpoint, I'd give this game a 7 out of 10. Now, time to talk about that. Because what this game does, it does wonderfully. And I really enjoyed the gameplay. I don't want to say not the combat, but I'm not going to say the combat was perfect, because the combat is more a vehicle for the other systems that make up the gameplay, like the weapon fusing, or even in Breath of the Wild, the weapon durability that would make you use different weapons and different styles of weapons. I mean, but instead of talking about multiple things at a time, let's just start from the beginning. Or let's do one at a time. So, gameplay, yes. In general, while it's not my favorite combat system by a long shot, it's good enough. It's not bad. It's not average. I'd say it's above average. Not by a ton, but it's good. But the gameplay of the exploration, of the using abilities, that's really good. It's excellent. The visuals are... It's a Switch game. They make it look beautiful when they can, but they always can't. Thankfully, it's an art style, so it will always look as it does. Which is to say, it won't ever look bad, but it's definitely not modern. It's definitely got some really bad textures in some places, but I mean... that's not a huge deal, especially for me. I mean, I'm just glad it's like an art style that will always be consistent. Just like Wind Waker still, and always will, look good, because they went with a stylized choice. That's a very smart thing to do when doing games. To ensure it always looks good. Music, when it's there, it's good. When it's new, it's good. Kinda. But, if you haven't played Breath of the Wild, you won't notice it as much, but they reuse, not remixes though, but like literal exact copies of almost all the tracks from Breath of the Wild, and they add in very little new tracks. Obviously the main theme's new. The dungeon themes are new. The themes of the towns when they're rusty and full of bad stuff is new. And those are good. I wouldn't say many tracks are, like, catchy good. Like, for people like me who've played Zelda, and, like, Nintendo games in general, you know what I mean when I say a tune is catchy. It's memorable. Like, pretty much all of Ocarina's soundtrack is that. In this game, at least for me personally, I can think of 3. The Rito Village covered in snow theme, the Wind Temple when you have all but one of the things activated, and the Wind Temple boss. You might see why my complaint there. Not only that, but remember, the Rito Village theme is not unique to this game or Breath of the Wild. It's from Wind Waker. So the best music of this game isn't even technically from this game. I mean, like, it's good, but they needed to compose a lot more music. Like, I get they were still going for the minimalistic approach, but I don't feel it works, especially for a series that has historically excelled in music in all of its games. So that's disappointing, but enemy variety. Now, this game is better than Breath of the Wild, but you'd have to try hard to be worse than Breath of the Wild. But here's the thing. If we did a tally sheet and we counted all the different types of enemies to compare it to, say, Ocarina of Time, Ocarina of Time is usually the golden standard for people, for Zelda. I mean, I like Majora's Mask and Wind Waker, but regardless, point. This game might, I don't know, I would even debate it, but this game might have more enemy types than Ocarina of Time. However, here's my standpoint. How big is this game compared to Ocarina of Time? Now, if we compare enemy variety across these games and compare them proportionally to the game's size, Tears of the Kingdom has a paltry enemy variety. I love the depths. I got addicted to it. But I explored it and explored it and explored it. It's like, wow. All we got under the depths is red versions of what already exists. And Little Frog, Big Frog. And that's the only unique depths enemies. Okay? The temples. Robots. The Lightning Temple has Gibdo, but it also has robots. Okay, Death Mountain doesn't have Dodonkos. The castle and under the castle doesn't have Dark Nuts. They, don't have a lot of enemy variety. And no, I'm not going to say red Bokoblin and blue Bokoblin and black Bokoblin and silver Bokoblin. They're not different. They're the same enemy. That does not count as enemy variety. Bokoblin is in this game. Just period. And then Keese are in this game. And then Choo-Choos are in this game. Painting them and then making them do element is not a different type of enemy. But again, it's better than Breath of the Wild, but also, to be fair, this game is like 3 times the size of Breath of the Wild, so is it even proportionally better than Breath of the Wild? Because the depths is literally double the game space, and I don't think it has double the enemy variety of Breath of the Wild, so proportionally it might not even be better than Breath of the Wild. Let's see, what else do we have that's audio and gameplay? Dungeons. Oh yeah, we didn't talk about dungeons. So here's the thing. Again, literally anything is probably better than Divine Beasts. But this is not classic Zelda dungeons, and it's not even great dungeons. I was really happy with the Wind Temple at first, but that's because the Wind Temple was great with the music, the boss, etc. The Spirit Temple, or not the Spirit Temple. The Spirit Temple is not even a temple or a dungeon, so the Lightning Temple is the closest aesthetically to a temple, because it's literally a temple. I'd say the Fire Temple is the best thematically, but here's the thing. Every temple is basically the same thing. Oh no, we gotta get it. We gotta activate the green circle. But to activate the green circle, we need to activate the 4 or 5 thingies. And that is every dungeon. None of the puzzles have a consistent... Well, firstly, they're easy. Nor... They're not linear, but there's no connectivity. Now, I get being open world, the game is based on non-linearity. Is this an extra scene? Oh, finally. Something new. Dear God.
I can't
believe such an impressive landmass can float in the sky. Just when I thought I'd started to figure the Zonai out.
Everyone, I am glad I was able to bring you all here. I wanted to share this view of Hyrule with all of you.
Whoa! I've never been this far up before, Goro.
Wow, what a sight it is. And Zelda, you were roaming the skies all along?
Yes, although I don't really remember. I never thought I would actually stand here again.
This is only a theory, but Raru's power of light, and Sonia's time power. For Zelda to transform back, they both must have channeled their abilities through you, Link.
I see.
Now it seems it is my time.
Minoru!
Do not worry. You have overcome the burden my era left to you. You have proven yourself, and you no longer need me. I know I can move on, join Raru and the others, and the world will be safe.
Oh god, I have OCD. I'm sorry. I can't just. That's not what I was trying to take a picture of, but I was a second too late. Definitely don't need a picture of that.
Those of us gathered here swear on our lives to support Princess Zelda and... Oh. To support Princess Zelda and safeguard the land of Hyrule.
Raru and Sonia will be happy to hear of this.
But Minoru!
And I'll let them know just how much you care. Thank you all.
I wish she would have just stayed in the robot.
King Raru, Queen Sonia, Minoru. The ancient sages. They wished not only to save Hyrule from the Demon King, but for it to see eternal peace. I will dedicate myself to that goal. now and for all time. My friends, with all of your strength, stand with me.
Better, kinda. I mean, at least there was something for having all the story done. Uh, well, now there's not audio, so I don't have to worry about that. To continue what I was saying, where we left off, I was speaking of dungeons and complaining about them because they look, they're themed, which they should be, because dungeons in every Zelda were themed instead of literally the same thing copy pasted in a different shape like Breath of the Wild. But dungeons in Zelda games typically have theme. Rooms are connected, puzzles sometimes are connected, or they follow a singular theme. Technically, in this game, the Fire Temple was the closest to being good for me, because to get anywhere, to do the whole dungeon, the intended way is to do the minecarts. But by nature of this game's mechanics, you do not have to pay literally any attention to that, because you can just climb and ascend, and you don't even have to look at a minecart. And you can activate the 5 switches just like you activate the 5 or 4 switches in every other dungeon. And there's just, other than being themed and having themed bosses, they don't offer anything really better than Breath of the Wild. It's kind of the same reason I don't like shrines that much. I don't dislike them per se, but it seems like we lost longer, complicated things because these games are all about short, bite-sized, casual experiences of puzzles, which, because they have to be 15 minutes long or less, they can't be too complex. They can't lead into each other. They can't expand on ideas, whether it be shrines or dungeons, and that is very unfortunate. So, while I'm happy with the theming, I'm happy with the boss design. I'm especially happy with Bulgara's design, music, and spectacle. The temples are better, but they're not much better than the Divine Beasts, in my opinion. So I think we're about ready to talk about story, but we're going to talk about something else that bothers me. Perhaps, well, what should bother me more than story, but I really care about the story, so the story issue bothered me far more. The UI and the interaction with UI-esque elements of the game. So when I say that, interaction means like cooking or buying and selling, etc. And the UI, there's ways to sort the UI when you fuse, and you can get faster at using it. It's still awful. If this was on PC, I would definitely play with the mouse because it would be a lot easier to navigate everything in a menu that was designed for a mouse than a controller. I don't know how much better they could have made the UI with a controller in mind, but when you have like 800 different types of items, trying to find a specific one is a pain in the ass. Why there's not a sort by alphabetical, I don't know. Same with outfits, why there's not a sort by alphabetical. Why the weapons don't have a sort by damage amount. I think it generally sorts by damage amount, but the moment you pick up a new weapon, the moment you start breaking things, replacing things, it doesn't auto sort according to your preference. It's annoying. But what's more annoying is how the irony is it seems they designed this to be more casual and time friendly when it comes to actual content, and they've done the literal opposite when it comes to anything else. When it comes to busy work and things that people don't want to spend time doing. So here's what I mean. Say I've got 500 meat, and I want to cook 500 meat into 100 identical dishes because once you've done it like 10 times, the cooking is so tedious and boring. You don't want to make complicated, fancy things. You just want food so you can heal. Okay. So here's the process for the game, as is. Go into the menu. Select the 5 pieces of meat. Exit the menu. Interact with the cooking pot. Hit X to skip the cutscene. Fades to black. Unfades from black. Pops up the UI menu. Click through the UI menu of the food. Then repeat that whole process. Now, why isn't there a cooking UI where I can say, I want to cook 5 of this meat 100 times, hit the button, and then it does that in 15 seconds or less? Why can't I buy more than one type of item at once? Oh my god, if you've watched me sell food, why can't I sell more than one type of thing at once? Each situation in of itself is not a big deal. But considering even just to this point how many hours I put in this game, how much time was spent dealing with the UI, which is designed like clearly, surely they didn't intentionally design the UI to waste time, but how could they not see how much time was wasted, especially since for a lot of people this was the same complaints of Breath of the Wild, which they did not fix in any capacity. I choose not to engage with buying, selling, and cooking at this point as much as I can because it is such a huge annoyance and waste of time. I only do it when I need to, and then I choose not to otherwise. Say nothing of the fact that the difficulty at the point I'm at doesn't require you to cook, other than, oh, I want to recover my Gloom Hearts, gotta cook something for that. But when I want to cook things to sell, because that's a pretty good way to sell things, well, I gotta be ready to waste probably half an hour doing the whole entire process. 10 minutes cooking, 10 minutes selling, 10 minutes maybe. No, it's probably like 14 minutes cooking, 14 minutes selling, 2 minutes gathering the materials to do all of it. That seems more accurate. Probably hyperbole in the numbers, but that's a more accurate proportion, which really got annoying early on, and by the time I finish this again, I can tell you what, when I do replay this on an emulator with mods, the very first mods I'm going to look for are things that fix all the time wasting nonsense there is in this game, of which there is an endless amount. But you know, that's been annoying. I think we talked about everything but the story, and the story for me is going to be the biggest thing. So I want to make sure I talk about everything else firstly. So that's gameplay, dungeons, enemy variety, music, UI. Okay. There's one other thing we have to talk about, and it's performance. And not enough games performance is taken into account. Honestly, because the game is an entire experience, and performance is part of that experience. Performance should be talked about and judged as part of that experience of the game. And this game is horribly bottlenecked by being constrained to the Switch. The Nintendo Switch was old and outdated the day it came out. And we're like 7 years or so into the Switch life cycle, maybe 6. Now, this game runs a lot better than one would think for how big it is. But, oh my. I have definitely seen it chug. I have definitely seen single-digit frame rates in this game. We're damn near close to it. I get Nintendo likes their gimmicky consoles. I get they're averse to ever having a console cost more than it costs them to make it. But it is such a poor experience to play what should run at 60. Honestly, in this day and age, there's not a single game that should run below 60. It's just ridiculous that that is still accepted. Especially a real-time game with real-time combat. There's zero reason we should live in an age where there's games that are built to run at 30 FPS and not even hit that. That's the best part. It doesn't even hit that consistently. But yeah. It plays well enough despite that, and that's partly because of the combat being what it is. If the combat was tighter, more engaging, the frame rate would make a much bigger deal in it. Which is unfortunate because like a Zelda with a more engaging combat system would be great, but so long as Nintendo designs the games the way they do, or rather, so long as Nintendo designs the hardware that they do, it is unlikely that we will see an at-launch 60 FPS Zelda. Technically, we did once, called The Legend of Zelda on the Nintendo Entertainment System. But, you know, besides that, yeah, so it didn't. I'm not going to say it didn't detract from my enjoying the game. But again, they designed with Breath of the Wild and here the combat system the way they did, I'm sure, with a count to make it feel decent at the frame rate and frame drops that this game gets. Now, here we go with the one and only story. And I will touch back on dungeons at a point. I realized that I made a point about the non-linearity of the game affecting the dungeons, and that's a bigger issue with the story, so I'll touch on it back then, because some people might say, well, how could they make good dungeons with the game being non-linear? And probably by using a little bit of effort is what I would say, because I could easily think of ways, but the story is the bigger thing here. So I had a pretty positive impression of even the general atmosphere and story of the game. Relatively. There were definitely still complaints like what happened to the Shrine of Resurrection and all the technology, blah blah blah. But it was overall positive by the time I beat the game the first time. And then I learned more about the story. And that was my biggest mistake. But I mean that was gonna happen eventually anyway, but oh, I don't eat. So, I will say that after doing some reading, I am less upset about the possibility of them, like, spending so much effort into actually making a timeline and then messing with it, because it seems, from what I've read, which I'll talk about later, this game actually doesn't conflict with the timeline that they advertised so much with Hyrule Historia and Skyward Sword and blah blah blah. But that doesn't change the fact that the story itself is not great. So, let's begin with probably the most obvious thing for people who have played through more than one dungeon of this game. You beat the dungeon. The sage grabs their sage stone. You get the exact same cutscene. Not once, not twice, not thrice, but 4 times. Debatably, you get it 5 times, but the difference is Mineru's cutscene is actually animated and shows a bit more, but it is largely the same cutscene. So 4.5 times you see the same cutscene. Now, why? Because they didn't want to put effort into characterizing the ancient sages to have like actual cutscenes show anything of interest. Like you could beat the dungeon, then they talk to the sage and talk about how Ganondorf's evil was affecting the Gorons, and then Rauru recruited the Gorons to be a sage, and etc. etc. But no, the cutscenes just amount to a long time ago we did this, and then the modern day sage is Secret Stone, Demon King, Metal Gear, Psycho Mantis, over and over again, and it was old the second time it happened, and I just could not believe. I could not believe it the fourth time. So I'm sure I've made comments about how Nintendo. Maybe I haven't done it on stream, but I've made the comment that at least with this game, Nintendo seems to be low effort, and I'd say borderline no effort with the story. Because firstly, you make the cutscene the exact same, which sure the game's non-linear, but again, if the game's non-linear, don't design the cutscenes based on an objective, a singular objective. Base the cutscenes on a localized thing. Again, you rescue the Goron Sage. It tells about the ancient times from the Goron Sage's perspective, with very little overlapping information. Not telling the same thing 4.5 times for no reason. But that's what they do. And that's just that issue with the story. There's the fact that this game very explicitly is a sequel to Breath of the Wild, and they do nothing to like expand upon what happened from Breath of the Wild to now. Like, where did the Guardians go? Where did the Divine Beasts go? Where did the Shrine of Resurrection go? I don't know. But it shouldn't be the player's responsibility to invent the answer. For something so major of the last game, to which this game is a sequel, it shouldn't be hidden away in a very obscure book in some random corner of the world, which I don't know if it is, but I heavily doubt it. It should be kind of talked about. People should kind of be talking about the big incident that happened. I saw no one compare the calamity to the upheaval. I saw no one think about, wow, maybe this is related to the same evil that we defeated 6 years ago, or however long. Like, it can't be a coincidence. That would have made sense. That would have been narrative consistency. That would have made the story more engaging because it would feel more real and logical. That's not what happened. Instead, this game almost treats the last game as if it didn't happen at all. And again, despite this game blatantly being a sequel, it's like Nintendo decided we can't design this game as if we have to design this game for people who haven't played Breath of the Wild. And that is such a poor design choice, which leads to such poor story and narrative consistency. Like, if you didn't want to make a sequel to Breath of the Wild, then don't make this game related to Breath of the Wild. Now, I was never one of the people that says this was Breath of the Wild DLC, but story-wise, it feels cheaper than Breath of the Wild DLC. Because they wouldn't have to mention Breath of the Wild if it was literally just DLC for Breath of the Wild. But given that, again, it's literally a sequel, it's kind of egregious that they don't mention literally anything from Breath of the Wild. Okay. So they have the story with the Zonai. My first question, maybe not out loud, but one of my first questions was, where's the other Zonai? I want to know what happened to them. Why did this civilization fall into ruins? Well, we get flashbacks and we see there was Rauru and Minoru and no other Zonai. Surely they didn't build all this tech by themselves. Where's the others? Not only do we never find out, no one even mentions it, no one even asks the question. That's just, like, insane. Especially since there are quest lines that talk about ancient civilizations. Like, Josh is always like, wow, there must have been ancient people that lived in the depths. I want to investigate that. No, I want to investigate what happened to the other Zonai. Or, like, I just don't understand. I just don't understand. Now, the next biggest thing, kind of a two-parter. It has to do with Zelda. But first we'll do the search for Princess Zelda and why them designing the story the way they did was the opposite. You should design a story for a non-linear game. The main objective that brings you to these 4 villages is find Princess Zelda. Okay. Sure. Well, there's 2 important points. There's 2 important contradictions that happen. There's my contradiction where I found the memories before I did most of the villages, which explicitly state where Zelda is. She's the dragon. But the cutscenes, Link's interactions, what everyone says, it's as if no one, and not even Link, because Link is still like caught off guard and surprised every single damn time. It's like no one registers or acknowledges that Zelda is like, not only is the information not shared, but the information is not even retained within Link's mind. The second part is that that's also a problem if you, say, do the Goron place first, because you clearly see that Zelda's an imposter. It stands to reason that in the other locations, Zelda's an imposter. Either way you look at it, there's every reason for no one to be fooled into searching for Zelda in these 4 locations. There's no reason for neither Link nor Impa, because she knows at that point to share with everyone, hey, we know what happened to Zelda. That's her up there in the sky. But that never happens. Like, literally up to the end of the game, everyone treats the location of Zelda as an unknown. Just basically possibly theorizing that she's back in time and not else. So, what they could have done is not design the main quest around that. They could have designed a different. They could have kept the memories and the Impa quest line as is, but had the main plot of the 4 villages not at all revolve around Zelda, and they could have changed a few dialogue options depending on what you do or don't know. Which sounds like a lot of work, but there's games that have done that, and this is a AAA company. A AAA company that supposedly prides itself on quality. If we're talking about every aspect except story, apparently. Which is a shame, because I remember plenty of Nintendo games, and even Zelda games, where I thought world building and story was S tier. Like Majora's Mask and Wind Waker. This game is well below any tier of Zelda in terms of story. Ironically, for the lack of story it had, this game is worse than Breath of the Wild, because having basically no story is better than actively having a bad story. And this game actively has a bad story. If they didn't know how to design a narrative for a non-linear game, which I'm not going to say it's easy. They could have taken the cheap and easy route of just changing some dialogue options and, again, reworking the quest to just not be about Zelda. Like, sure. Maybe that wouldn't have seemed as important, but it would have been a lot better. It wouldn't have felt a lot more brain dead than literally knowing where Zelda is and what happened, and then having Link look dumbfounded at each of these locations when he sees Zelda, and having everyone be dumbfounded as to where's Zelda for no reason. But that's what we got. And then there is the issue. My biggest issue is because, well, that is a part of my biggest issue. The other part of my biggest issue is the whole finale with Zelda and the Master Sword. So, to say nothing of the fact that the final boss fight was underwhelming after I got everything, which is the same problem Breath of the Wild had, because, you know, you want the game to feel like it has a wonderful, epic conclusion the more you put into it. But the opposite is true. Just like it was in Breath of the Wild. You beat all the bosses, you don't have to fight all the bosses before Ganon. You didn't even have to fight Phantom Ganon before Ganondorf, after doing the main story. The waves of enemies, oh my lord. Having 5 companions, one of which is a giant robot with a cannon hand, might as well not even have it. I was playing exceptionally poorly, and I just equipped some barely upgraded gear, because remember, you can upgrade gear to tier 4, and I think maybe I had equipped one piece at tier 2. Maybe the hat was tier 2 as well, and the chest was tier 1. Something like that. I took 1 heart of damage from Ganondorf, from all of his hits. He took so much damage from my weapon. Oh. I mean, that's back into gameplay, but to be fair, I didn't talk about that. But, again, that whole build up to epicness and reward for putting in effort applies to story as well. So, like I said, I was initially impressed. I initially thought it was cool. Like, before gathering pretty much any of the story, I didn't even interact with the Light Dragon at all. I wasn't actually expecting the dragon to show up in the final fight. I wasn't expecting Ganondorf to become a dragon either. So both things happening had a huge impact. It was cool. The coolest thing to me, what I thought was so amazing, and I thought that is a wonderful design choice of them, because it felt so natural and intentional, was getting the Master Sword specifically for the final fight. It especially felt natural and intended because it didn't have a damage number. It just was. That could have been one of the best ending sequences to a Zelda. Not the most challenging by any means, but best in terms of spectacle, presentation. And at that time, Zelda changing back from a dragon didn't even bother me much. But now I have the context of the full story. Firstly, the Master Sword, you get it again. It's still unimpressive as a weapon. It returns to its original purpose in Breath of the Wild, which was a reusable tool to mine ore with, because it keeps coming back, so might as well use that so you don't have to manage inventory from breaking other weapons. And it felt far less important and epic to pull it out during the fights with Ganondorf and Dragon Ganon. And then there's the issue with Zelda. Now, if you know Nintendo, even if you just know Zelda, but if you know Zelda, you know Nintendo, you know that short of rare circumstances like, again, Majora's Mask, kind of Wind Waker, but not really. Wind Waker, I'd say only because of the world being flooded, but Majora's Mask in general in its entirety, Nintendo is capable of doing more mature, more serious, more engaging, more depth in terms of stories and character interactions. But by and large, they're not. By and large, they don't. So anyone who has even a passing knowledge of this knows that no matter what NPC says it, no matter how many times it's said, you know damn sure at the end of the game, everything is going to be fine, everyone's going to be normal. So, knowing that, there's zero impact when people say, you're going to remain a dragon forever. You're going to lose yourself. Don't do that. That's bad. Zelda, put the sacred stone away. Don't eat it. No. it has no impact because you know it's not going to have an impact. So the whole scene with her appearing and her transforming back and you getting her out of the sky, like it had not only like less impact, but I'm gonna say negative impact because of the story. Like, no, I like it just like they were forcing an emotion that they're not capable of inducing because everyone knows that's not how it's gonna be because it's a Nintendo game. So you can't get that emotion out of people. In the original playthrough, like I knew, like I didn't know the story, but I knew everything was going to be fine in the end. So it always is. It was just how they were going to do it. Them emphasizing this consequence of actions for Zelda. I'd say the best way to put it is it felt insulting, which cheapened the end and resolution because they were trying to make you feel as if that wouldn't be the case when you clearly know damn well it's not going to be the case, and it was kind of insulting that they would. So, in essence, the story was designed for children, which you can argue is the case for a lot of Zelda games, but you can design a story for younger people without it having to be a fairy tale happy ending. Again, Majora's Mask was a game designed for kids because it's a Zelda game, and it still was mature, had depth, and was dark. You save the world in the end, but you don't save everyone. Literally, some people die and become masks in that game, irrevocably. And it was an amazing game with an amazing story, amazing characters, amazing world building. And I would love to see it at a larger scale, like this game could have been. But no, they're like, hey, we're going to make you pretend we're going to do something we're not going to do. And we're going to base our entire ending and the entire impact of the ending based off that. What little ending there is. Because honestly, before that cutscene, that extra cutscene from getting everything, the ending was basically Zelda falls, then hi honey, I'm home. And that was all we got. Like, I know it's not fair or appropriate to compare every game to this standard, but honestly, especially an open world game, I'd say the gold standard of endings is like Fallout 1, Fallout 2, New Vegas, even though it's not open world, Dragon Age Origins. You know, you get like a long series of slideshows to make it feel less important, but it basically is. That says what happened to every person and place because of what you've done or what you've not done. Which, in such a big game with so much to do, that would have felt like a way better ending. To be fair, it's my favorite type of ending, but a way better ending than just you rescue Zelda, she smiles, cue credits, and then everyone's up in the sky like, we'll serve Zelda and protect Hyrule. The end. Like, oh my lord. I don't even have to keep referencing Majora's Mask and Wind Waker. Twilight Princess had a pretty cool ending too, because it had a bittersweet moment in it. Midna destroys the mirror as she enters it. So you know you'll never see her again, and that's sad. Like, pure happiness. I'm not against happy endings, but when your ending is like pure overly cliche happiness, perfection, it's just like, come on. An ending like that works rarely. It's serviceable, but it's not much more than serviceable. And honestly, for as well crafted and as much effort as they put into as much of the game as they did, it's egregiously bad for them to have done or not done with the story that is the case. Now, what they should have done, and this will probably be an unpopular opinion, is Zelda shouldn't have changed back from a dragon. She should have stayed the dragon. That should have been the bittersweet ending. That would have been a lot more impactful. They could have ended with some dialogue and shot of how they'll always have a light dragon to protect Hyrule. Or, you know, just anything, literally. And it would have been great. I'm going to take this off now. It would have been great. Alternatively, they could have just not, in any way, no matter how much of the game you do, directly stated what happened to Zelda. There could have been hints at it, but the hint should have been no greater than, like, when you get a Light Dragon scale and it says it's familiar. Leave it at that. Leave it at that. Do nothing else. And don't even, especially, don't have the Master Sword be given to the player. If they did that, and there's no, like, poor attempt to trick the player into thinking that, oh, we might do something interesting, we might make it so Zelda doesn't change back, then having the ending as I experienced it originally would have been a lot better, and I think it still wouldn't have been as impactful, and definitely wouldn't have been as impactful as a more bittersweet ending, but it definitely would have worked a lot better than the ending with all the story gathered. And then I think that's most of my complaints out there. There might be some minor things that aren't worth bringing up as far as my criticisms, but I think that's largely it. I was going to complain about how they just blatantly actively disregarded the timeline. But then I read some things and was reminded that, you know, at least it seems they didn't. But I want to talk. Before I talk about that, I just want to make a comment of something I forgot to address earlier. Like I said, I was going to talk about the non-linearity, especially in regards to dungeons. Like, look. For example, when you're doing the mazes in the sky, you can't climb the walls. They could have designed more enclosed dungeons where you couldn't climb things. They could have had actual rooms with locks and keys. They definitely could have had more enemy variety that forced you to use the mechanics. If they wanted players to use the mechanics everywhere in the game, they could have had more enemy variety and had enemy variety and mini bosses in the dungeons determine your mechanic usage. It's a crying shame there's no mini bosses in the dungeons. It really is. If they still wanted non-linearity in some dungeon rooms, have some big open dungeon rooms, but have them self-contained rooms so they can do their non-linear 100 different ways to solve it solutions in some rooms, but then have like some actual dungeony rooms, corridors, rooms with actual puzzles that can't just be cheesed with ultra hand and climbing and ascent. You could still have the non-linear world with that. Just do that. Have some reduce the number of shrines by like half and have a lot of them be way bigger. And again, as far as the story goes, spend more effort into writing. It doesn't even have to be cutscene differences, just have less and more focused cutscenes and have dialogue vary more based on what you do or don't do and in what order you do it. Develop a story specifically with a non-linear game in mind, rather than fitting a cookie-cutter story onto a non-linear template. I think that's the best way to describe the story. They took a story that could be in a linear Zelda game and tried to mash it through the wrong peg hole that is the non-linear type of Zelda they designed. And what we got was Tears of the Kingdom. And while I still really, really love the game and will put so much more into it, the story is so egregiously bad that I couldn't even possibly put this in my top 5 Zelda because of it. Because world building and story is important to me, as are dungeons. And this game really fails at both of those. Now, well, I don't have to criticize this like I thought I was originally going to have to. Since it is a curiosity I might have hinted at or mentioned, I will at least talk about something. Because I have my own opinion and theory regarding it. Which is how, where's this game on the timeline? They made an official timeline. They advertised games, they had advertised Skyward Sword on the basis of timeline. The timeline is definitely something they consider. At least they did, even so far as Breath of the Wild, and is still important. So, my original complaint was the time travel thing ruined the timeline because the founding of Hyrule does not line up with this, doesn't line up with that, blah blah blah. Right. But then I remember reading something because they released a book for Breath of the Wild, Creating a Champion, which talks about a lot of their decisions, both from design and story perspectives, for making things the way they did. So, the interesting thing that I wish they would have gone into more, rather than just, again, not talking about it all, which would have added a lot of story value, I feel, but again, Nintendo doesn't want to talk about anything that could alienate a new player from understanding anything about the game. So we see back in time two important things. We see Ganondorf, and we see that there are still Rito and Dora, and that the world looks largely the same in land. Okay. So the land might not seem important because between all the existing Zelda games before these two, things have shifted around. Death Mountain, Kakariko Village is not in the same place in A Link to the Past that it is in Ocarina of Time, for example, nor is the Lost Woods. But, you know, they're still existent, still places. So, what does that matter? Well, I'll tell you what it matters, because here is what I noticed. In the Creating a Champion book that came out, I forget if it was at the same time or slightly after Breath of the Wild, they mentioned that Breath of the Wild's backstory takes place insanely far into the future of all the games. Okay? So if its backstory takes place that far, then stands to reason that it is so far ahead that even something ancient to Breath of the Wild standards is also so far ahead of everything else. I believe an interview with Aonuma confirmed that they still consider the timeline and that Ocarina of Time still happened as is. And one thing I didn't notice until replaying this game, though I read about it, was you notice how all the Gerudo have pointed ears. Except Ganondorf does not. He has round ears. In fact, he's the only human character in this game that has round ears. Now, in the Creating a Champion from Breath of the Wild, they say that Calamity Ganon, obviously the main antagonist from Breath of the Wild, once adopted the form of a Gerudo, and he was basically fought, defeated, and sealed. And one of the sages that sealed him was Nabooru, which is one of the sages from Ocarina of Time. So that confirms that Calamity Ganon is the same Ganon from Ocarina of Time. Now, what really confirms things that I didn't even think about, and probably no one thought about, probably only a few people remember now, is in the book, they talk about the Gerudo now having pointed ears. And they said long ago, ancient Gerudo had rounded ears, which is true because they did in Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask because they reused the character models, and it's the same time period, but regardless, you get the point. And it was only after a long time of many generations of partnering with Hylians that they got pointed ears. So, Hylians in Zonai flashbacks having Gerudo having pointed ears in Zonai flashbacks. But Ganondorf not is simultaneously the most subtle and direct confirmation that even the ancient history of this game is well and above, far into the future of the timeline. Which I'm glad that such little details are things they kept. Like, if that at least restores some of my faith in their storytelling ability, possibly. Though they would really have to release some really story-heavy DLC to correct my complaints that I went over earlier. But still, it shows they were at least paying attention to those details, and they're not retconning literally the most recent game, or the most recent lore book for the most recent game. But that is interesting, because they're talking about the founding of Hyrule, which definitively, provably, by canonical elements, is way far in the future of the existing timeline. So then, well, for most people that might not know of the whole Zelda timeline thing, that might not seem that big a deal, but for those of us who are like Super Nintendo and Zelda fanboys, we know there's 3 timelines. Because Ocarina of Time had time travel. I've already been talking for a long ass time, so I'm gonna try not to continue talking for a long ass time, but I love Zelda and I love lore of games I love. So I can't help it. But basically, and this will even tie into one thing I dislike about the story, but it's not unique to this game, so don't worry about me complaining too much. I don't like time travel as a storytelling element. There are some cases where I think it's fine, but largely it's annoying and awful. And that's because of paradoxes and predestined stuff, which doesn't make sense to me. When I say predestined stuff, think Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. If you're not familiar, basically, there's a point in that book/movie where Harry is going to die, but he is saved by himself. So there's the paradox. So it was predestined that he would go back in time, but how did he live through that situation to get to the point where he went back in time, to go back in time to save himself? That type of time travel is probably the most infuriating to me, because it is such garbage storytelling to me. I hate it. Now, thankfully, I can think of potentially only 2 cases that's the case in Zelda. One of which is this game. The other which is a potentially minor, overlooked, or overlookable thing in Ocarina of Time. And not even really the main story of Ocarina of Time, so... But remember, Zelda went back in time, and there's those murals of her. To that, I would simply say, to the game's credit, it's easily explainable. Remember, all the glyphs and ruins, and especially the glyphs, because in the flashback of her becoming a dragon, we see her then and there cry. So those tears fell then. None of that appears until she goes back in time. So it is very reasonable to assume that it wasn't predestined. It's just that Zelda going back in time literally did not change Ganondorf being sealed at all. Which is how it should be. Basically, I think time travel should always be based on creating new timelines. Like, if you go back in time and change something, you don't return to the time you came from. You basically return to an alternate... The easiest way to put it would be an alternate universe timeline, which is actually what the Zelda timeline works from. So Ocarina of Time, basically, Link pulls the Master Sword. He's not old enough to fight Ganon, so they send him forward in time 7 years. And then you basically go back and forth to complete the game. Now, how the timelines and time travel in that works is at the end of the game, you beat Ganon. Link is sent back in time so he can be a child. Now, he doesn't exist in the timeline he just got sent back from. So that timeline proceeds as if that Link, or if Link did not exist in that timeline, which is why the world gets flooded when he returns, when Ganon returns, and Wind Waker happens. Child timeline, he's sent back far enough that he can tell Zelda basically what happened to Ganondorf, or what he's going to do, so the king arrests him and basically has him pseudo-executed, which we even see in Twilight Princess, which has that timeline. And then, it's not really related to time travel at all, but then they have a timeline where, as an adult, Link is defeated and Ganon wins, and then it gets sealed, and that's how like a Link to the Past happens. But I mean, that's basically the short summary of the Zelda timelines, and everything before that, which is only Minish Cap and Skyward Sword, which is the origin of Zelda, that's basically the timelines. Problem is, this game has, like, outfits and items from every game in the series, pretty much, which means from all 3 timelines. Now, in Breath of the Wild, you could say, well, it's amiibo only, so it's Easter egg shit. Honestly, I'd say you can probably still say that here, because they clearly just wanted to keep everything from Breath of the Wild. And I don't think Easter eggs are a strong argument for canonicity or lack of canonicity. However, we do know that there can only be 2 possible timelines. Not the child timeline, where Link lived his childhood and Twilight Princess happened. Because several places mention, and especially like Zora texts mention, the previous sages from Ocarina, like Ruto. They only became sages in the timeline where Link loses, and the timeline where adult Link is there and defeats Ganon. So that means either the Downfall timeline or the Hyrule Flood timeline. Now, ironically, I believe, despite it seeming the least likely of the 2, the timeline where Hyrule was flooded actually makes the most sense. And there is very good reason for this. I don't know if the text is the same as it was in Breath of the Wild, so give me a moment. But, well, aside from the fact that there's Rito and Koroks, which historically had only come about because of the Great Flood, which is debatable, because when they remastered Twilight Princess, there was a developer put, like, carvings of Rito on a fountain. Oh, we don't need this music. Let me get out of here so this is not overpowering me talking. A designer basically put Rito drawings on a fountain in Castle Town in Twilight Princess, but that could be A, just a developer Easter egg that's not canon. B, there's not to say that Rito couldn't have developed because there was a tribe of Zora that moved somewhere else and evolved to Rito. And C, it could just be random bird people that just look like Rito. But, I mean, honestly, Easter egg is just as likely. I don't know if the dialogue, if the tooltip dialogue is the same as it is. Yeah, it is the same. Crystallized salt from the ancient sea, commonly used to season meals. Well, we don't get that from no sea. We get that from rocks really far inland and underground and stuff. Now, the tooltip on an item is not necessarily the strongest case, but again, Rito and Koroks, and this, and the fact that, definitively speaking, Hyrule in this area did not exist until, well, apparently a long time in the future, which means Hyrule, Ocarina of Time, Hyrule as we knew it, fell to ruin, or didn't cease to exist until Rauru came back and founded Hyrule, which lines up the most with there having been the world flooded and then deflooded for some reason. Now, I don't know if we'll ever get a game that explains that. Maybe we'll get a lore book if they really commit to this being the truth. I really think it would be exceptionally lazy and poor writing if they go with some, like, timeline convergence theory, because that is just as timeline bullshittery as predestined fate, in my opinion, which, again, makes time travel awful. But, definitely a possibility. I think relatively time travel in Zelda is consistent though, so I don't know about Oracle of Ages. I think that's when I played through nearly every Zelda before Breath of the Wild, I might have been tired of the 2D gameplay style and not played that, which is a sin. I know if I haven't completed it, I'll check my list. I will definitely at some point. Same with Spirit Tracks. I never finished, and I haven't completed Phantom Hourglass. I need to do that as well. I think those should be the only Zelda games I really need to. I need to beat Adventure of Link as well, and that's not gonna be fun for me. But um, but yeah. So my theory is that through some as yet and possibly forever unexplained event, the Great Sea was unflooded, and Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and their backstories take place very, very, very far into the future of the Wind Waker timeline. Which would also, well, I mean, it would explain a lot. It might explain why in Breath of the Wild, and I'm assuming Tears of the Kingdom, though I didn't see it, you see the ruins of Lon Lon Ranch practically perfectly as they are. Which is kind of funny, but it would make a lot more sense if it was because the world was flooded. Minus the fact that wood would have probably disintegrated by then. But beside the point. Yeah. I think that's it for a serious discussion. I did mention there was one instance of bullshittery in Ocarina of Time. It was a minor, but so to get the Song of Storms, you have to learn it as an adult. Guru, the windmill man, says 7 years ago some kid played this song that messed with the windmill. You might comment on how you look similar to him, I don't remember. But there's the paradox of, well, if it was Link that played the song 7 years ago, but he needs to learn it as an adult, then who played it back in time for him to learn it? Was it really predestined bullshit? Maybe. But arguably, like, other people can magically play music in the Zelda universe. That could be like, again, Zelda going back in time had no effect on Ganondorf being sealed. Link not playing the song didn't stop someone from playing the song. So that's not like a huge hang up. Either way. I have done my piece to state my opinion on the timeline of this game. And I don't think anything really conflicts with it directly. And I have given my critique of the game, which is why I say 7 out of 10. Because the UI bullshit, the disappointing dungeons, the disappointing enemy variety, the combat being above average but not great, and the story detract enough that I think, objectively speaking, the game deserves a 7 out of 10. Which I can say, even though I will be putting hundreds more hours into this game over the course of my life. So, that is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That means that tomorrow, praying work goes fine, doesn't have a lot for me to do, we will be streaming something new, which I'm not 100% decided, but obviously I want to get back to Final Fantasy. I do need to get back to Castlevania, but I'm still not entirely sure I'm ready for that, so Earthworm Jim 3D to finish that series, even though 3D is not... I love Earthworm Jim, but 3D is not going to be great, so just warning you. I want to start Metal Gear, because I know that's been asked for. I know quite a bit at this point. And I think I'll focus on those things, those 4 things technically, unless I get another suggestion or something else comes out in the very near future that I would rather play. July is Pikmin 4, so at some point in July or late June, we will start with 1, then play 2, then play 3, just in time for 4 to come out. And that is my only. That is the longest term stream plans I can give. But again, suggestions and games coming out that I didn't think of could change things. But yeah. No more Tears of the Kingdom on stream. At least not till DLC. So for those of you who have watched the whole series, I appreciate you all. Even if you haven't watched the whole series and you're just here for no reason, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. Love all of you. I think I need to unwind before I go to bed for work. Vet appointment. So, I'm going to call it there. I hope you all have a wonderful night. And, as always, I'll see you next time.